back into the action, guys, and you can see we have just jammed. First hand back, button open, and you know, this guy's opened a lot, and well, I mean, King Jack suited is a strong hand. We do have the donk behind us, who could wake up with a hand that he calls with a little bit, but the blinds have just gone up, and yeah, I mean, I just think it's the cleanest way to play this hand, and you know, Ace 8 is a pretty horrific call from an ICM point of view. And I mean, truth be told, I mean, he's actually, you know, it'd be pretty close between, I think, him and this guy at this table. You know, these guys are probably the worst, and you know, he's actually maybe got an edge over these guys. I will go for pretty well. Will I? Let me think. I would call Ace 10. Check. Does he stab? How can we get value here? Checking. Maybe checking. We bet. How many streets can we get? Passive, he doesn't 3-bet. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go for streets here. Let's go for streets. I'm gonna bet pretty big here. If he's got Ace 10 or Ace Jack, you know, I think it's just bad luck here. I think there's not too much point betting there, because, yeah, I mean, there's just not much point. He's never folding an ace, and I mean, just in case he happens to have, you know, Ace 4, Ace 7, Ace King, played Kings, weird. Obviously, we got lucky. And I mean, he does have a 3-betting frequency, so I have to presume he's going to 3-bet Ace King, Ace Queen, and probably flat. You know, we saw him flat when I isolated a limper before with Ace 10, so, you know, I did say if he's got Ace Jack, Ace 10, it's just bad luck, but I think Ace Deuce up, you know, Ace Deuce, Ace 3, Ace 5, Ace 6, Ace 7 gets us, but Ace 8. I think there's most of the hands he can have, you know, we crush. And if he just happens to have Ace 4, Ace 7, Ace 10, or Ace Jack, it's just bad luck, I think. But he's, you know, he's our main target, really, and we want to try and, when we get in pots against him, we want to try and get max value. And, you know, if we had Ace King or something, we would have been able to get a full double up, but as it was, we got lucky. So, you know, he just happened to have one of those hands that did have us pipped. It's a pretty close spot. We can probably try a delayed c-bet here, but again, he might do the donk on the turn. But I don't really want to lose our equity in this spot. So that's a pretty good card. I think a lot of the time, you know, he's got a King 10 and stuff like that, so you know, he's just going to fold. But it was obviously a really good turn for us. Some of the time he'll have an ace high, it's just bad luck if he does, but yeah, I think a lot of the time he just has 10 Jack, King 10, all that sort of stuff. Broadways. Probably, I think 3-betting here is probably okay. 26. Just give this guy the opportunity to use his imagination a bit. And always a chance this guy, this guy just flats behind. Yeah. So it looks like we just doubled up. So we finally doubled up. He's got Ace Queen, or he's got Ace 10, Ace Jack, or Ace Queen for sure. And this is just a very easy double up. Oh my lordy lordy. He has got King Queen or King Jack. Damn. Very annoying. I thought that we finally had the double up. It's very, very annoying. This guy's been pretty passive. This is a little bit alarming here. Raise first in 4%. I think we'd kind of dominated a lot. And I'm just going to steer clear of these two guys. I mean, this guy's... I mean, he can have... I mean, he can have something as well. He doesn't limp UTG and then call with complete trash. So there's always a chance he had something that dominated us as well. Like King Jack or King Queen. But he's not calling the flop with them. It looks like he's got... Just like I was saying, you know, he's hit himself a pair and he ain't gonna fold it. Although somehow he did. So I guess he had a flush draw. I guess. Right? What do you guys think here? We'll try and work this out. You guys, at this point, you guys should write in the comments what you think he has. And see if we can get some answers. Because I want to know. And if everyone says he's got a certain hand and there's a consensus, let's just go with that. Because how the hell is he just check, call, fold? He's definitely not folding a pair. So I guess he's just got like 8, 9 of diamonds. Or maybe he's limped in with 6, 7 suited. I mean, even if he has pocket threes, he's never folding to a small riverbed ever. Not with that he's got 2 pair kings and threes. So, I guess there's the alarm going off. That's the alarm. That means we're going to go on a run, go on a heater, and get a lot of big hands. So it's good that that's finally going to happen. I think I'm just going to call. Could have 3-bet it. If he 4-bets below, we have to fold. If he calls, it's tricky. So I prefer to just keep it small. If he had just 4-bet, we could have shoved over the top. I think he does 4-bet light often enough. But a little bit of a higher variance play that I'm not really comfortable with, given the edge that we have over these guys. And you know, we just saw this guy happily call down here with the fives. Raise. That really should have been a much bigger pot, I think. That guy was way too careful on the flop. He was way too careful. He should have smashed it, you know. Once this guy, oh, I keep doing that. Sorry, guys. Once that guy bets, it's limped in pre. Once he bets here, yeah, 7. I mean, you just want to jack it right up there like crazy, you know. Just going to do a fairly small bet again. I think it's any pair, ace deuce, ace high is probably going to call. We just need a little bit of protection. We could have, you know, 10 jack and stuff that has decent equity. We don't mind him giving up his equity. And just going to have a look at this prize pool actually, because I don't know if I want to grind for 2 more hours against these fish. Let's have a look here. 691 divided by 476 plus 360 plus 244 plus 187. 1958 left in the pool. $391 each. So with our chip stack, we'll probably get call here. Probably not quite. With our chip stack, we probably get about 400. 410 or something, 420. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, only because, yeah, it's just not a huge amount to be playing for. I'm going to raise here or not? 5, I think probably we can. Tried to bet a little bit quicker this time because I've been sort of, well, interesting card. Been betting quite a little, like thinking for a while and then betting, and just mix it up a bit, just in case they're observant. Interesting card. I think it actually has an 8 a lot, unfortunately, but it does give us a few outies. Boom. So we lose to 6-7, which he could have called flop with conceivably, but don't really see any way we can not go for tons of value here. Probably going to overpot here, actually. I think it's probably going to work pretty well. I mean, I just don't think he can fold a queen or an 8, this guy. And, I mean, a 4 is probably we miss value if he's got ace 4 or king 4, 4-6. We miss value from those hands. But yeah, I mean that's not a big part of his range. A queen he probably would have bet river, so you know it is pretty close, I think. He did say, do you have ace 5? So, you know, he kind of thinking yeah, it maybe he folded like a 6-8 there or something, 7-8. But I'm not sure he can. I'm not sure this player does fold that. I mean, these other guys certainly wouldn't. I mean, this guy, there's no way these two would, but yeah. And it's a family pot. And we do have a gut shot to the nuts, but it can't be a club. Come on, 10 of diamonds. Yeah. Give this one up here now. Just because of the clubs and there's still 2 players behind, I think calling the half pot bet to try and hit 3 clean outs is a mistake. But, you know, it's kind of, it's tempting. It's tempting against these guys. I think if we close the action and it was all other 4 players in for that size bet and we got to close the action, I actually probably would go for the 3 outs. And, you know, because if we hit, we can probably stack someone or 2, stack 1 or 2 people. Like that guy, probably doesn't fold. Not with top pair. Not if we bet the right sizes. Yeah. Not the 3-4. Would have been double up. Queen 10 jack. 8-10. What happened? Limp. Oh, it was a bet and then check call. Weird. Ace high, I guess. Twos. King high maybe. Wow. Where the hell? Unreal. Check calls. Racist. Wow, the Russian got him. That was a funny hand. It was just crazy play by the Russian. I mean, the flop call and then just the turn raise, I mean, it was just so gross. Against a guy who just never ever folds. He decides to check call with king high flop and check raise turn and then happens to get there on the river. It's so sick. Against a guy who is never ever folding even just a pair on that turn and is pretty passive. It was just, I mean, that's part of the reason why I've got him in purple, because he's just a huge donkey. Yeah, that's pretty gross. Pretty gross. I'm probably going to just do one of our small bets here and tank for a bit, and then do one of our kind of, well, I mean, smallish looking bets. We've been getting sort of looked up a bit when we do that. And we did blast away before. He's probably got a 10 a lot, 10 jack. He might have king 9, 9, 10. He could have jack 9 or jack queen, hands like that. The 8's relatively safe. I mean, he could have king 8 or 10, 8 once in a while, but we're just going to try and go for as much value as we can. Pretty good spot here. This guy's defending with everything, so. And having said that, of course, he should snap hold. 7-14. I think he's donking around a bit here. I really do, but at the same time, I don't really want to get involved, I think, because we're kind of just chipping away nicely, and I don't want to get involved in sort of a big bloated pot. But you know, I feel like he's just like, no, this guy Acesup just raised a couple of hands in a row, so I'm gonna raise. It's kind of how it felt. Some 14. I guess I'm gonna fold jack 6 there. And we kind of saw that, you know, before when he check raised the fish, the massive fish. He seems very sort of like, just like he just misses information kind of thing. He doesn't process information properly, you know. And so he's very capable of, I think, doing anything crazy at all. I don't really want to go to check call town here, so I will go ahead and bet. And I think against the mini, well, I think against the mini I'm probably feeling a fold. I guess we can keep raising here. Let's just see this guy's, depends a lot on this guy's 3-betting tendencies. If he starts 3-betting a lot, then I'll have to adjust. He's capable of upping the ante, I think, with 3 bets. So what do we have here? We've got the backdoor flush, gut shot to the nuts. 9 gives backdoor. It's a pretty bad board. I think I might. It's pretty close. I'm pretty close on this one. I think I might check and see what he does. I think we can probably check call one now. He might have a smaller ace some of the time here. He's probably not checking back a king. He might control with a jack. I think it's just a quick call here and then on the river just a check decide. Yeah, you got a little bit of value there, but I think, yeah, I mean, I guess if we bet small flop, he may fold, not sure. I don't know, he's kind of sticky a bit. Maybe he fold. I guess he would fold. I'd like to think he folds on that board, but maybe blind versus blind he calls to see what we do on the turn. But I think he might fold. So, you know, it's kind of a bad board, but definitely with the gut shot, the back door is, you know, we could have c-bet was kind of close. I think turn, we really do have to call once he's checked back flop. And river, I don't mind the call. I mean, I think his value bet is... I mean, it's not too bad, I guess. And it does show that he's thinking a little bit. He's probably putting us on that sort of... Well, I mean, it's pretty hard for him to imagine us calling down with ace high, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Wow. Ace high? King jack. Yeah, it's just a bit annoying. We're not really connecting with any boards here. How are we going to play this? I think well, how are we going to play this? 14. I guess we could raise small. And then barrel. I might try that actually. I think there's already 50,000 out there, and this guy's range is wide. We probably have a ton of outs. I think I'm just going to raise small. If he shoves, I mean, it puts us in a pretty gross spot, but I think a lot of the time in that spot, I think he actually might click back, and then we get to shove over the top of that. And I think... yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the time now we can bet turn and then shove river. And I probably would have bet about 40 here, and then he'd call, and there'd be about, actually I would bet about 35, but there'd be 170 in there, and he'd have 170 behind, and then I would shove river. But this is actually one of the few cards, like any repeat is probably a check for me, because I don't know if he's going to call flop with ace high, but he might. He could have the same hand. He could have the same hand. I think we have to bet now just in case he's got king 6 or the same hand. Probably have to bet just in case he's got those hands. Yeah, he could have a 7 some of the time. On the flop when he calls, but once he checks turn, he shouldn't really be trapping with that. And I think that he's the sort of player that he might kind of think we're trapping and check turn and we have a full house or something like that. I think he could imagine that. Because a small flop check raise like that, you know, can look pretty strong. If he's got any 8 or 5 or 7, he probably does call flop. Ace high I would like to think folds, but this guy probably maybe does call ace high, I guess, on the flop to a small check raise. And so it's a little bit risky on the river, but I think that for the amount in the pot and the size that we can bet to win, just in case he does have, you know, 9, 10, 10 jack, king, well, any 6 obviously, and that sort of thing, then I think it's okay to go ahead and bet it. This is pretty borderline, but against 2 sort of fish, against the min raise getting big pot odds, I'm gonna gamble a bit here. Well, not gamble, but I'm going to make the loose call, but that was definitely on the risky side. Pretty close here. I think I will 3-bet. Well, yeah, I think we have to 3-bet small here. And yeah, I mean, I just think we have to. Otherwise, we're just playing a little bit too tight. If we're not 3-betting there, I mean, we can't wait for picture perfect, you know, situations where we have the nuts. We do have to mix it up a little bit. And I mean, after all, we are coming third, so it's not like we have the big chip lead that we had earlier. Decent spot here, considering how active we have been, and we actually have a real hand. Keep showing this guy some cards. Sort of chipping away. You can see a very kind of small ballish at the moment, and just really hoping these guys make mistakes. It's kind of a fine balance there, isn't it? Don't want to be raising too much. But at the same time, you know, we can be raising a reasonable frequency. We're getting away with just enough, I think, to maintain the current level. We don't want to open to the point that we become sort of a bit of a target. But having said that, I mean, you know, XXX Cooper is not the guy that's going to 3-bet. Damn. Why couldn't he have a jack or a 7 or a 6 or a diamond? Wow, one time, come on. So gross. I was waiting for him to just shove. I really was. I was waiting for him to just check jam flop with like 10 jack of spades. And then the turn to be a repeat jack just to make the sweat. Oh yeah, I really thought it was just going to be check jam time there, and we're finally going to get an easy double up. Four ball. Thank you. He's escaped a couple of times, that guy. Wonder if we can have a check turn and give him a chance to... You know, maybe he's floated some of the time. Or just bet a hand that he thinks might be good. Well, snap 3-bet and a snap fold. we have to just try and sneak one through. I mean, this is why this guy's obviously so bad. Still, though, it was pretty sneaky with the jacks, you know. That's the end of that chapter. What are we going to do here? I guess I'm going to just hold there. It's actually a little bit of a tough spot for us because this guy's the better of the two and he's on our left. That's a bit annoying, but let's just do what we can. I think I'm going to go for the double barrel here. He has folded to a couple of double barrels. He has snap razor flop again, so I think... I'm not exactly sure yet what that snap razor means, the snap min, but I'm going to try and wait to find out, I think, without getting too funky with the old jack high there. It certainly could be a bluff, but... Meh. Checking. He's been kind of tight actually. I might go back and he's passive, so hopefully we can get to showdown or not. If he keeps holding buttons, it's going to be good. And he's not that aggressive on the button, from what we can see. I do want to try to raise as many buttons as I can. And try and play against these guys in position. This guy limped King 6 before. Remember, if you saw previous parts, he limped small blind King 6. So I think he can have some worse kings, but it's a little bit risky. He can have some 5s, I think, as well. He can have, you know, Ace 5, 5, 6, and stuff like that. I don't know how he plays his draws. We haven't really seen his draws. So I'm just going to check because, you know, King 7 gets there, 5, 7 gets there, spades get there. It's getting a little bit harder to get value from a 5 because you might think, you know, if we didn't have the king already, we had got the flush. And as it is, he has the same hand, so yeah, it's kind of a funky one. And I'm probably going to get this one in, I think, here. If he, I think if he had have raised pre-flop. Wow, that was a very fast bet. I don't think we can quite fold yet. But I think if he's close to pots here, we probably have to. Obviously, we're just hoping he slows down turn. We haven't really seen him. I haven't really seen him just smash like that too much. And I'm not entirely sure what it means. But he has fired again on the turn, and it's not really his style to just be smashing quick like that. He's normally been pretty careful. So it's probably either a jack queen, just trying to get max fold equity, or some sort of crazy bluff because we're capping our range by checking. Or he may actually have a hand like pocket 3s, or, you know, king jack that just wants to get a ton of value. King 10. King 3 even, I guess, he probably defends with. So it's kind of close, but I think I'm just going to give it up on the turn rather than... I think if I call turn, I feel fairly obliged to call down. But he said good fold. Doesn't really mean much, but I do think that his betting in that instance was a little bit different to how it has been in previous situations. Could have arguably fired a little bit to try and stop him from doing anything crazy on that flop. But as it is, he's bet a good amount that we can call. I think it's important to call here because the 8, we can get the full double up. The Jack, if he has an 8. And there's maybe some cards we can represent if he does check back turn. Yeah. Could have the best hand sometimes. He can have King Jack and Jack Queen. He's betting quite small. I think we have to bet now just to try and fold out Ace High and probably go with 21, 8, 9, 2. Wow, he actually has the 8 and just calls with it, so that's a bit funky. We could actually have had the best hand some of the time. He could have had Jack Queen or King Jack, but I think betting on the river there and trying to fold out Ace Highs and just make it a little bit tough if he has some sort of pair to call as well. The straight there was pretty obvious, and it's a hand that he might put us on because we did call flop. So it's certainly a hand that we can have. But as it was, he had it. And, it's just a pity, like I was saying, if the Jack comes, we get the full double up. Because he's never going to fold straight. And he'd be fist pumping all his way home. But, yeah. Had a few outs, but couldn't connect. And it's put us in a tough spot. Not really getting, too many good spots. And we're getting chipped down a bit, which is a worry. And there's the snap pot. Oh my god, another break. On it goes. It's the never-ending tournament. And bring you the never-ending tournament, which actually may end next level. Can't promise, but 3 players left, and stacks. Blinds are getting pretty heavy now, so stacks obviously getting, especially for 3-handed play on the shallow side. So back with the grand finale. Back with the conclusion right after this break.